Hi, this is Lance at John Annesley Company. I got a call from Jason who had some questions about how to stretch a gallery wrap without getting ripples in the corners. He said that he had a lot of problems finding accurate information about it online through YouTube. There's a lot of videos out there I've seen, and none of them really give you a step-by-step instruction that actually is worth the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be stretching a 20 by 24 strainer on the Artfix L60. It's a wrapped skin glue sized portrait linen. It's not actually wrapped skin glue, but that's what they say it is. I think it's methyl cellulose sizing. What's nice about the Artfix linen is when they give you pre-primed linen on rolls, they always size it before it's primed, which is really essential if you're painting with oil. A lot of people think that if you put gesso on something, you're sizing it, but you're not, because the paint will go right through that and into the fabric or the panel and rot the fabric or wood. So let's begin. Try to make this quick for YouTube purposes, but let me get a little closer. So the stretcher is 1 3/4 inch deep. And the amount of fabric that I give all the way around is 3.5 inches on each side, which is a total of 7 inches over in each direction. So to begin, we want to start with the short sides. So what I do is I just put a staple in halfway right here in the middle, just to hold it in place, so that when I work the tension from this side, it's not pulling from this side because there's something holding it there. But at first I always put all my staples in halfway to work the tension out before I put my staples in all the way. So what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. I'll explain that later. But I'm just lightly working the tension. Put a staple in halfway right here. Then I work the tension from that staple back over to this side. And then I put the staple in halfway in right there. Let me see. So halfway, halfway. Now I remove this staple that's been put in halfway. And I do the same exact thing I just did. Work the tension, put a staple in halfway here, work it here, staple in halfway there. So I'm pulling the tension from here and here before I pull here, so that I don't get any rippling this way. I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to say over the camera here, but so now we have it held in place here and here and here and here. So what we want to do is do the same thing to these sides. So what I do, now that I have something slightly holding this canvas in place, I will lightly pull here and put a staple in halfway. Now I'm going to flip it over the other side. I'm going to do the same exact thing, but I'm not going to put the staple in the middle. I'm going to put it right on the corner. Put it in halfway right here. Halfway right here. Flip it around, remove the half staple from the middle. This process uses a lot of staples, but you end up getting a very nice stretch with it. Take your time, make sure the tension has been worked out properly. So now I have a staple holding that side. I'm going to put my folds on the short sides. Let me not get ahead of myself. we're going to make everything exactly the same before we begin. So work the tension to the edge like we did before. Now there is a staple on both sides of every corner. On really big canvases, I will keep the staple in the middle of the really big ones. So I want to do this in a portrait landscape instead of a horizontal landscape. So I want my folds to be on the top and the bottom so that they're not visible from the side. What are we at? 5 minutes. Okay. So now we're going to put all the staples in. We've worked the tension. So remove that half staple. We're going to put in 3. Side note, when you're using the pliers, so I'm removing the staple. The most tension you have, make sure that you are completely locked in right there with your pliers. The most tension you have is from here to here. If you go beyond that, you lose tension. You don't have any strength down there. You start losing it once you pass that 45-degree angle. So get it on there. I put my staples in when it's at a 45. Sometimes you'll hit, these are strainers, so there's V-nails in the corners. So sometimes I'll hit the V-nail and my staple will turn into some weird looking thing. So 3 staples here, 3 staples here. Guess what next? 3 staples here, and 3 staples here. This method, we have worked our tension from the middle to the edge, and then we work the tension back from the edge to the middle. This is called stretching from the corners. The method was inspired by Jim Bernstein, and I will post information about his information. He was an art conservator at SF MoMA, I believe. So, okay, now we have 3 staples here, 3 staples here, 3 here, and 3 here. Now we're going to take that half staple out, there and there, and fold these corners. Do the same thing to the other side. This whole process is what you do to one side, you do to the other. That's the way you get completely even tension. And I'll show you a close-up of the fold. So I'm going to pull both of these staples out, but you can do them one at a time. I'm just going to pull them both out because I'm going to fold both of these. Hospital corners. It's an art in itself. This is one of the most difficult things to do in this whole process, is to do a nice fold. So first you make sure that this is nice and there's no rippling, it's not going this way or that way, bulging out on the side. And then you pinch here, like this. Then you push it down like that. And then you can do this with one finger. And then you can twist it out like this. I'll do a video just on the folds at some point. So we do the fold. Make sure that it's not puckering out on the side there. 3 staples. I go underneath the fold to put in my 3rd staple so that my tension is such that that line where the fold is prominent. Same thing on the other side. 10 minutes. I think I'm going to have to do 2 videos here.